Dating 101. I'm going to talk about the first date. Now, this may make some people mad, and I apologize in advance if it makes you mad, but I'm going to speak truth. As a certified dating coach, I've helped many people navigate the dating world, so I know a lot about dating apps. I'm not a fan, but I know a lot about them, and I know it works, and I want to help you. Okay, so you're going to go out on a first date. Let's say you meet somebody on a dating app and you're all excited because you think this may be the one. Okay, stop thinking that right away. If you're thinking that, stop, rewind. I know you're going to think it anyway, but anyway. Okay, so you want to plan this extravagant date because that sounds really cool, right? Sounds so romantic and so wonderful. Stop. Don't do it. Do not. And I'm going to justify the reasons why you should not do this. Number one, if you create this extravagant date, then you are locking yourself in for a period of time. Okay? I know you are thinking in your head that this is going to be the one, and you have no business thinking that, but that's what happens. And I understand that. But you don't want to lock yourself in for a duration of time that could be exceedingly uncomfortable. I've been there, had that happen, and it was 3 hours of sheer hell and pain, and I felt bad because I didn't want to be there, and this person went to so much trouble, and I was just like, get me out of here. This is not even close to what I want to be doing right now. And I felt bad. So don't put yourself in that situation. And the first date is basically a job interview. Look at it that way. It's basically a job interview. Don't sell yourself before you know what you're getting into. Don't, because it's a mistake. And if you are thinking in those terms, that means you've probably made that mistake before and you should know better, but you haven't learned your lesson. I get it. I'm a slow learner. I understand slow learning and making the same mistake over and over. But anyway, if you're going to plan a first date, if it's up to you, keep it simple. And don't lock yourself in for more than 30 minutes. I know you're like, 30 minutes? No way, I want to spend my whole life with this person. No. Hear me out. You may think, because theory is always great. Theory is always wonderful. And I'm all about positive thinking. I am. But not when it comes to dating. Okay? Because if you get into that mindset where this is going to be the one and it's going to be so great, you talk yourself into it, and then you're going to believe it, and you're not going to see the truth. If it's meant to be, it will be. And you have to allow it to grow organically, not forcibly. And you don't want to lose your head in the process. I know it's difficult when you're all excited and you're like, oh, yay. If you don't know the person, never met the person, you met them on a dating app, do not give them your address. They have to earn that. That comes in time. That doesn't come on the first date, okay? And if you're doing that, stop it. Because just don't go there. Don't give out your address. Arrange to meet at a coffee shop. Because you know what? You can get out of the coffee shop quick. 30 minutes max. I mean, you can get out there in 10 minutes if you really want. You can stuff your napkin in that cup and throw it in the garbage. You gotta go. Thank you, it's been fun. You're out. Dodged a bullet. But if you're having a great time, you can stay for a long time. You can hang out all day in a coffee shop if you want. People do it all the time. So it's a win-win. And you're not locking yourself into anything. And you're not creating this faux sense of extravagance that is not real life. And the best way to get to know somebody is real life stuff. That's when you get to know somebody. When you're going through some crap together, that's when you get to know somebody for real. That's when the mask comes off, the gloves come off, you see you'll see the real. And that's what you need to see. Because until you see the real, don't commit to anything. Don't give out your address. Don't give out any information other than just very basic stuff. Meet at the place. Do not get a ride, because then you're locked in again with no exit strategy. And that's not a good feeling. So drive yourself there or Uber there, whatever you have to do, but meet them there. And go to a coffee shop. Like I said, if you're hitting it off and you're having a great time, you can stay all day long. Because all afternoon you can hang out in a coffee shop. People do it all the time. And it's not an uncomfortable situation. That brings me to point 2. After the date, after you've come down off your little adrenaline high and, you're in somewhat rational thought, ask yourself how you felt when you were with this person. Write it down. Because tomorrow, the next day, I want you to go back and ask yourself that again once you're really decompressed and off the adrenaline. Because you may have a different answer. It should not surprise you if you do. And that's okay. It's better to know now than to invest time. And time is something that you'll never get back in your life. So don't give it away so freely. If somebody's worth it, you'll work for it and they'll work for it. And you'll have kind of a meeting in the middle kind of thing. You can't force chemistry. You can't force anything. So don't try. But don't lock yourself into a situation where you can't escape from it. I hate to use that word escape, but you know what I mean? Like, we all have heard about the friends that call us during the date to give us the out if we want an out. We've all talked about that or heard about that, right? You won't need this. If you just plan it 30 minutes, you don't have to say 30 minutes, but let's meet for a cup of coffee. It's perfect because it's just enough time to kind of know if you want to even continue to get to know this person or not. And pay attention to how they treat other people. When you're with them, how do they treat other people? Pay attention to that. These are little things that we don't pay attention to when we're in that mindset. But when you take a step back, you're like, oh, I should have noticed that. Oh, I should have paid attention. Pay attention. Because you know what? If it's not right for you, it's not right for you. And you can't make it right for you. And you'll end up making a mistake. So pay attention. Like I said, keep it. Coffee date is, I would say ice cream, but ice cream melts and it's kind of a mess. And you can't really hang out in an ice cream shop all day. But you can hang out in a coffee shop. If you're having a great time, great. I hope you do. But don't force it. And don't lock yourself into a situation where you're like, God, get me out of here. I want to go. I don't want to be here. Because you know what? Sometimes that happens. It happens a lot. And I had a lot of clients who were like, it seemed so great. And then it just wasn't. I got there and it was not great. You don't know until you actually do it if it's going to be great. And even if it is great, it doesn't mean that the next date's going to be great. So pay attention to those little subtle cues and don't lock yourself in. That's my advice for the first date.